Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT News, and today is Championship Sunday at the VCT Masters. A crazy match that we had last night, setting up a rematch in the Grand Finals, but also TSM and other teams confirming their major roster changes ahead of Stage 2. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Really upset the channel. We blasted through 15,000 subscribers yesterday. Well on the way to 20k. Just absolutely love to see it. Firstly, this in the VCT. So today, during the Grand Final, there's going to be a reveal of the new agent FaZe. We saw what she looks like a few days ago. People saying she looks like kind of Reyna's cousin or whatever. And then, well, definitely the agent, I mean, they basically got the pros to kind of react to it here and say, wow, that's pretty cool. So I'm sure they cut out the people that said, okay, it looks pretty lame or whatever. But and of course, they're kind of implying them to make it look good. So we'll see today. Thought it was a cool thing, actually, that they're going to reveal kind of what she looks like, what she does, maybe what some of the abilities are later on today. So definitely something to keep your eyes out for, because this event, I'm pretty sure we've seen every single agent plays, with the exception of Phoenix. Like, we've even seen Neon. Of course, we'll talk about OpTic in a few seconds. With what Victor's done with Neon, introduced her, like, drastically to the meta, right? I'm pretty sure Neon will probably be a mainstay of the meta going forwards after how well she has been used by OpTic and Victor, especially so far this tournament. Of course, there's some other great players in OpTic as well that we'll see here in a few minutes' time. But, you know, still, all the agents are pretty much viable right now. Like, with the Jet nerf and, like, all these other things going on, FaZe could come into the meta as well. But it might be a little bit of time until we see that. Let's talk rostermania stuff then. So as George Geddes kind of points out, the free agent roster, like Zom, Sinatraa, Android, Wardell, and babybay, you guys are actually discussing as well. I thought was an interesting point, due to the fact that Sinatraa has to go under this, undergo this training situation with Riot. Maybe this Kanpeki move they've made is kind of like a placeholder for Sinatraa. Like, the question is though, like, of course, with the qualifiers coming up relatively soon, are they going to be good enough with Kanpeki to qualify? And then even then, if they are, do they want to bring Sinatraa in? There's all these questions around that, but it's a possibility. Thought this is a pretty good free agent team, to be honest, it was put together. But TSM, they confirm what their roster changes are going to be last night, confirming officially the gMd is in their roster. Look, we've seen the roster they've been practicing with for quite some time here. They've been playing some online tournaments and the like, but gMd's in the team. gMd, he joins the roster. They've been looking pretty good though, no doubt, over these last few weeks. This is kind of funny actually, right, because they're all out there in Texas now, practicing, scrimming, boot camping, this type of stuff, getting ready to go. And Sabros is on stream and like, oh, wow, they just announced this gMd, yeah, that's kind of crazy. And then he comes to the shot to say like, oh wow, what an interesting move. This also then, so Seven, like, Seven's had a really interesting last few months in Valorant, there's no doubt, because he was on 100 Thieves for a time on their bench. He was kind of on their academy roster. They might wanted to bring him into the starting team, and I do wonder actually whether if Sean Gares and DDK would have been in the part of the team, then they would have kind of been like, okay, look, we should probably keep Seven because he's got all this potential. Now they let him go to T1 briefly. He goes over to T1, not really too much success over there, and then now he's over at the TSM side after kind of Wardell stepped away. So got a good opportunity for him, and like he's been said for quite some time to be one of the next North American prodigy. So I like the potential for this from TSM, and I think this roster can be a very good one indeed. And as Rossi says, he's also enjoying the time. So like, it's an interesting roster, there's no doubt. TSM have massively underperformed their own expectations and the expectations of the fans and the community about an organization like TSM as to the potential of this roster. And well, this is now the new roster of 5 they have. Of course, Corey, formerly of FaZe, Sabrosa, Rossi, gMd, and Seven rounds out the roster. They recently had some pretty decent success in the Ninth Monthly. Got that they made it all the way to the Grand Finals before losing to Ghost Gaming. But yeah, my understanding is, like, I'm pretty sure the way it worked for Stage 1 in terms of qualification for North American Challenges, that 8 teams qualified through the Open Qualifiers. So there was 4 teams qualified from the Open Qualifier 1, 4 teams made it through from Open Qualifier 2, joining the 4 teams that got a free pass effectively based on their performances at Champions and stuff like that last year. Now, if it's the same story this time, teams like Sentinels, 100 Thieves will have to battle through that Open Qualifier, and I'm guessing the top 4 from Stage 1 will get a free pass through. If I'm incorrect on this, let me know. But at the top 4, of course, were the Guard, OpTic Gaming, and then also Cloud9 came 3rd and Xset came 4th. So like maybe those 4 will get a guaranteed pass into Stage 2. I'm not sure it's actually said yet on the VLR website. And then the other 8 will come through the 2 Open Qualifiers, which of course TSM, Sentinels, 100 Thieves, all these other rosters that made moves will have to take advantage of. And of course, the ones you can see on the screen, FaZe, Ghost Gaming, T1, and the like. Let's talk about this series then. So OpTic last night played against Zeta Division. Like this is the losers bracket game, a best of 5 finally we got to see here. Best of 5s are great, kind of in theory at least, but in reality often they're somewhat more boring than that maybe is expected. I think in Counter-Strike, just because Counter-Strike's games are so long and they can go to some crazy overtimes, like a best of 5s over there can be a bit of a slugfest sometimes, but I think in cases like this it's certainly justified. OpTic arrived, they play Zeta, Japan's the last time, a crazy run that Japan have had in this tournament, so good for the fans over there. I'm sure it was a late nighter once again for those watching and watch parties and all this type of stuff, but OpTic I guess were favourites for this series, but Zeta have basically been underdogs in every single series they played and managed to win all of them, but a best of 5 proved too much in the end. Game 1 though, Zeta had a great start here on Haven. And I mean, look at this shot from Ye. This is absolutely ridiculous. He gets the first kill, and then completely aimbots onto the second guy, dodges the flash, kills the Sky, and then, peeks around this corner. The Jit comes absolutely flying through with the updraft, and also the dash. Look at this no-scope. Like, that is just absolutely outrageous. Like, this is a crucial round as well, actually, for them to get back into this game. Now, Zeta end up closing out an advantage of 11-5 at one point. Well, they established an advantage of 11-5. Can they close it out, though? That's another story, because OpTic on their offensive side really turned a corner here, and this really was their momentum swing. So often in games like this, there's just like, one thing that'll happen, it will change momentum, and then you just think, okay, wow, this team's going to come back. But yeah, 11-5, all of a sudden, though, it goes all the way to overtime. So obviously get a monster T side or offensive side. They bring it back to overtime. They close out the overtime as well, 15-13, and that kind of, when that happens, right, when you've got a substantial advantage like that, if you're Zeta, you lose all those defensive rounds in a row, and OpTic win the map. It's so hard mentally to bounce back from that, right? In game 2, we kind of saw that. In fairness, though, I was surprised. Also, game 1, right, it does go to overtime, but Marved, what a player he was this series. He was out of control. Like, this guy has been talked about a lot this tournament, right, in terms of his flexibility on so many different agents, his clutch factor, right, put him in a 1v1, he's barely ever going to lose, and he's just pure slaying. This game was also absurd. Like, he had 35 kills in this game 1, new record for the entire tournament so far in terms of kills within a single map, so phenomenal stuff from Marved. The whole team played great, of course, but like, that's the thing of Marved and Victor, kind of, to me, those are the kind of two key X factors. You know what you're getting from Ye, you know what to expect from Crashies and FNS most of the time, and FNS usually game 3, he can do some slaying, but usually it's just the calling. Victor and Marved are kind of the two players. Victor is making a lot of space on the Neon, but Marved, when he's showing up, when he's winning the clutches, like, and Victor as well, when they're playing well, like, this OpTic team is really tough to stop, and if they're not, then that's when the team can lose to much lower opposition, as we've kind of seen, well, not too long ago. Goes to a game 2, though. This was interesting, because I believe this was Zeta Division's pick, to be honest, this map 2, on the Fracture, which surprises me, because the day before, they just demolished, OpTic just absolutely demolished Loud on this map, 13-2, so not really sure why Zeta thought anything different was going to occur here. Doesn't work out for them, unfortunately. Early on, it was close, but then all of a sudden, it's 13-5. Like, OpTic on their offensive side are brutal. Ye finishes out the round with a tour de force. That's 13-5, and OpTic being up 2-0 with the momentum they had, it didn't really seem like they were going to let this lead slip, to be honest. It goes to a game 3. It's on the binds, and early on, the Zeta Division guys, they kind of bounced back at a point. Nice little 4K here from 10, actually. And the guys on Zeta put up a great fight. They didn't go down without a fight by any means. They definitely gave it a good go here on the binds. But yeah, OpTic in the end, just the stronger team. I think over a best of 5, you generally see that. Like, best of 1s can kind of go either way. Best of 3s, usually the better team wins. But best of 5, you're probably going to see the better team come out on top, more often than not, at the very least. And yeah, today, that was most certainly OpTic. They were firing on all cylinders. Marved again was great. Victor was great. And yeah, Marv just popped another ace here, because why not at all, right? We're here on binds, already dominated the first 2 maps. Why not just do it again on the map 3? So this is key for OpTic. Loud, of course, await there in the grand finals, the Brazilian super team, effectively. They took down OpTic just a couple of days ago. OpTic, of course, won that game 1 Fracture yesterday, or I guess the day before, yesterday, 13-2, and since then they lost the next 2 games. I mean, yeah, some crazy stuff is going on right here, but Marv manages to clean up the goods. And anyway, see you tomorrow, say OpTic, 13-8 in the final game, and that is enough to get OpTic over the line, and 3-0 over Zeta. So, interesting performance. I thought maybe Zeta would put up a greater fight here, but OpTic, just the better team on the day. Ye showed up, all the players showed up, and yeah, they didn't have what it takes. But 3rd place for Zeta right in Japan, after all that was said coming into the tournament. Phenomenal work, and like, I think Ye has a few nice words to say as well. He says 3-0 versus Zeta. Happy we get to another grand finals of another event. At the same time, I'm sad we had to be the team to eliminate Zeta. They played incredible this event and beat so many good teams. The future of Japan is so bright. So that's always the exciting thing about these Masters events. We get to see the in-region stuff for a couple of months, and then we get to go to a Masters where you really have no idea how the regions are matching up. You have no idea how good Japan is in theory, and now people are really going to take them seriously. So exciting stuff. Of course, even Korea, the DRX team, ends up getting defeated by Zeta as well. But that makes the grand finals an all-Americas affair, which is maybe pretty surprising going into the tournament, frankly. But of course, with Europe kind of struggling right now, and Asia like getting there, but maybe not quite there or thereabouts that they need to be to challenge some of the very best in the world, it's Brazil versus North America in the grand finals. That's going to be spicy. Just to look at the final series stats, I mean, Marv really just stole the show, to be honest. Plus 25, 70 kills over just 3 maps. Ye on the permanent chamber, right? That just goes to show really how, much of a mainstay chamber is in the meta right now. He was having an awful lot of impact, but of course, I'm also Victor on the Neon. You've got to give this guy credit, especially on the Fracture. Like, he just does so much. 19-6. Like, his stats across the last few Fractures he's played, I'm pretty sure he has like a 2 KD over the last like 5 maps or something of Fracture he's played. Like, it's just absurd. And he's on the Neon, and you'd think she's not necessarily the agent to get that many kills, right? She's there to make space, this type of stuff, but he makes it work somehow. So definitely, I think Neon is going to have to be introduced to the meta. Like, people are really going to see now, and I think this OpTic team might well show today once again that, I mean, force to be reckoned with this Neon meta. But as I say, here we go. The grand finals are set. It's the Brazilian super team in Loud versus the Devils of North America's Fion Fire says in OpTic Gaming. So what a tournament this has been. Hopefully a grand finals that will live up to it. Now, usually the team from the winner's side will get some sort of advantage going into the grand finals because like Loud haven't lost yet, and OpTic have obviously. So usually that would happen. But in this case, I'm pretty sure they're just saying, look, best of 5, just do it, and like just see who wins eventually. The best team should win at the end of a best of 5. So I guess they're saying, look, it doesn't matter that OpTic have already lost, but if anything, they've got some more LAN reps under their belt. This type of stuff might give them some sort of edge. At the same time, though, Loud, when they played OpTic just a couple of days ago, looked like the better team. Like, Loud are just like so talented from top to bottom. This is the game, of course, Loud versus OpTic. But based on what we saw when these teams first matched up, I felt like Loud were just the slightly better team. I feel like, look, if Marv and Victor play as well as they did yesterday, which is pretty tough to imagine, then I think OpTic can win. So I'm hoping for a game 5. I'm hoping for an absolute slaughter fest all across the board. I think that Loud are just slight favourite to me at the end of it. But look, as I say, if Marv shows up as he did yesterday, like anything is possible here. And who knows how the pressure will get to these guys, because this is a major situation now. The pressure's seriously on. And whether Ye, of course, can deliver on that situation as well, because as Ominous points out right here, kind of crazy. OpTic have won 214 rounds this event, and Ye has had 73 multi-kill rounds. 2 kills or more among those 214. So like a third of rounds that they win, it's Ye getting a multi-kill, which just does go to show how important he is for their roster. So he's going to have to turn up, but it feels like at this point you know what you're getting from him. I'm just excited for the conclusion of what has been a fantastic event. But very much intrigued to your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hitting the like button tells your YouTube God this is a good video. I just like you should see it as well. And I grow the competitive Valorant community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.